Hey folks, welcome back to the bench. Well, I've got my DX6i on the bench again, and it's not for repair. That previous repair has actually been working fine, but it's actually for a modification that I want to do, and it has to do with this. Now, maybe a lot of you recognize already what this is. There's other videos out on the web about it, but this is an organic LED backlight that's actually meant for a Turnigy 9X, I think, but a lot of people put them in this as well. I got it off of eBay for, I can't remember what it was, $8-9 Canadian or something like that. But my job tonight is to install it on the DX6i, because these things don't come with a backlight. Sorry about the glare. And it makes it hard to see in the dim light. Now, I know there's lots of other videos online on how to do this, and you can watch those as well. Mine's not going to differ that much except for the wiring portion of it, and because of this circuit board, I'm going to do something a little different than most people do, and I'll show you that. But you can see this. Here's a hint for you. So, but in any case, let's tear into this and get going. I'm going to speed this up instead of doing a before or after or whatever like I normally do, so you can watch as I tear this apart in high speed. Well, it looks like I forgot to put most of the screws back in for some reason. I wonder what I did with them. I'll have to take a look. There's only 2 screws holding my whole radio together, but oh well, makes it go quicker, so I'll continue on. You know, in actuality, I think what I'm going to do is plug these back in, some of them, not all the way, just partially, and take a picture just to be safe, because my memory's going bad in my old age, so take a quick picture and then I'll know for sure where all the connectors go. Okay, one thing I'm curious about, now that I think about it, is most guys, they grab power from here, off of these pins right here, but I'm just wondering if the jack for the charge hooks to that as well. So I'm going to plug this back in for now and get my multimeter out and just see, because if that's the case, I can keep all my wiring contained to the LCD board, so there isn't a wire coming off the LCD board to here, making it easier to get apart. So I'm going to put my meter on continuity. I bet the ground is okay. Oh, maybe not. Okay, that's not gonna, well, maybe. So it goes to there, but not there, which is okay, because I can go to the bottom of this as well. Perfect. So it's, oh yeah, it's even labeled. So instead of going there, I'm going to go to the back side of this board. There's going to be a couple differences with other videos compared to mine. Okay, carefully lift this out. There's these little plastic doohickeys, which I could have left those screws in. These parts have to come out anyway. Now, I know a couple of the other videos, or write-ups, they tell you to mark the board where the LCD lines up. But I don't, well, it's not quite necessary, just because there's already marks right there. to show you. I think it's kind of pointless. So there you go. In any case, okay, I think I know what you need to do. You need to mark the alignment. Oh no, I'm mistaken. You've got to realize that the screen, there, you're putting it back in because you can't use these. Bottom edge of the screen, or I guess that's the top edge, lines up with the top edge of that board, so you got to make sure you get that just right, or else it's not going to line up properly within the window. Okay, so the next step, take your, well, you know, it's not the next step. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do differently. Most guys cut this off, and then they only use the two pins. I think it's the, can't remember which two are positive and negative, which two you use to supply power, and they keep this circuit board. But really, I don't know if you can see, or you'll never be able to see, I don't know, the camera will focus. I don't know if this would work. Let's see if I can line this up. This might work. Where am I? If it'll focus. I don't know if you can make that out. Probably can. I think you can. That is 471, it says on that little component, surface mount component. And what that is, all that is a current limiting resistor. So they put this whole board in here. This is meant to plug and play into a different radio. And they put this whole board in here just to hold a resistor and a connector and that. Now, we don't need that, but we do need a resistor. And the way that resistor works, I don't know if you can see, like I say, it's a current limiting resistor, so it doesn't fry the display. So if you look at that, where it should be in line with the positive. So whichever one, I think it's this pin. There you go, 467 ohms. They're not perfect, but all it is that putting a 470 ohm resistor in line with the positive power. And so I'm going to ditch this whole board. Snip, snip. Because I don't want it. And I've got this big bag of resistors, these 8-watt resistors, and I should have a 470 ohm or close to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly 470. I don't know if this set has a 470. There's a 47K. Let's just keep looking. 200, 270, 300K, blah, blah, blah. I'll just keep going through until I find there's a 510. That'd be close. There we go. There's 470 right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of those resistors and just wire it in line coming off of the power, and that'll be much better setup. I don't know if you know how to read resistor codes, but these are the four, I don't know if you can see, 4 color bars, and it's kind of tricky to determine which side you're supposed to read from, but it's a green, or sorry, where is it? I can't even read it. But it's too small. But you just take out your trusty ohm meter if you're not sure and measure it. 469 ohms. So there you go. There's the way you remove all that junk, all that circuit board and everything. And I'm just going to wire it in line with this, put heat shrink over it, and then add an extra wire and splice the wire into here, or I might even solder straight to that. No, it looks like it's glued on. I'll splice in a wire. I'll do that after I get everything mounted. Now the next step is to mount your circuit, or your this. And I don't know if, I think the guys, yeah, I think they mount it directly on like so. There's some double-sided foam tape that comes with the kit. It's a cushion, but it's too thick. That just won't do her. And I don't want all these leads poking through, so I'll find some other double-sided tape. I've got this servo tape, which will do the trick. I'm almost running out. I'll have to get some more. And I'm going to take my Sharpie and just mark the edges of these boards to get me close, because I won't be able to see those lines on the circuit board. So I'm going to shut up now and I'll just work and fast forward, and you can see I'll pipe up if there's anything I need to mention. Okay, that was the easy part, except for me burning myself on the hot glue, but I always seem to do that. So I think I got that screen relatively lined up. Now before I do any more, I'm just going to drop it in here and look before I continue on. See how it looks. Even though I'm not powering it on, I can still look, and it looks pretty good. Nice thing about the hot glue is if it's a little bit out, I can always just peel her off and try again. So now I'm going to hook up the power to that spot on the board. Take my little resistor, get some wire. The ground is easy, it just goes straight there. The nice thing about it, I don't know if you can see. You can see on the board if my camera will focus, but there is labels on this connector. I might actually also take my hot glue gun and stake all these capacitors, keep them from, not that there should be much vibration, but just to keep things in place. Now this wire is pretty thin, but you probably want to do it the other way if you don't have if you're not confident in your soldering skills, because this wire compared to the connector wire is really quite fine. But it's not going to work very easy. I'm going to do the ground first. Because this is the ground, it's tough to solder because it's a big ground plane, so there's lots of copper to heat up. That's why I'm kind of preheating it. I'm also going to put some flux on. Now if you've watched any of my other videos, you know my views on flux compared to some others. There we go. One down. Not the best joint, but it'll suffice. Now I need to do the resistor. So I think what I'll do is I'll solder one leg of the resistor onto the board. And I can throw some heat shrink over it. And then solder the wire onto the other side. Luckily I got a bunch of these resistors, so if I do something silly and screw up, well, I'm okay. I'm going to put some heat shrink on it right now. Some of this little stuff should reach. Yeah. If you don't have one of these sets, they're handy. I keep adding to it, refilling it. Want just enough to be able to connect to the board. I get my heat gun out and give her a shrink. Never fails. Turn my bench into a mess, regardless what I'm doing. It's impossible. But got the resistor set up. Heat shrunk. That should work good. Now I'm going to put a little bit of flux on it. And even pre-tin it. And I'm going to put some flux. I think this solder that's on here is lead free, so that makes it tougher to connect to. Check battery power. I'm going to have to double check which connector this is, or which pin I need to get onto here. Simple connection to check it. There. Yeah, looks like I was thinking the right one. Yep. Got her right. Now, like I said, this is not as simple a way as it's easier to go to that other board, but I want to be able to pull this whole unit out as an assembly without having desoldered some of that stuff. So personally, I think this is a smarter way of doing it. There you can, I don't know if you can see that splice or not. So here's the bottle of isopropanol that I use. Right there. 99%. I want to try to get the higher percent. The higher the percentage, the better. It's not cut with water that way as much. The rubbing alcohol is only like 70-some%. You don't really want that if you can stay away from it. Now that I've kind of half cleaned it, I've got another brush here, if I can find it. I'm not sure what oh, here, right in front of me. It's actually a denture brush. Now I'm just gonna, since I got the hot glue hooked up still, just gonna give this a little bit there. Try not to burn myself on it. Not that you'd expect vibration, but I just want it to be stuck there. Voila! Now it's a matter of reassembling, and we'll see if she works. So I'll get this back together and we'll give her a test run. Alright, the moment of truth. I got her back together, including the missing screws. So it's got 6 screws holding it together now instead of 2. And we'll see if it works or not. Fingers crossed. What do you think? Will it work? No, I haven't turned this on yet. Here we go. Actually, let's do this. Might make it better. Hard to tell. There we go. Moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Don't know if you can see. It's got a green glow. Maybe if I turn this off. There you go. Now it's not very bright, and it looks like it's a little bit crooked in there. No, I guess not. Probably if I change the resistor, put a slightly lower value in there, it would glow brighter, but you know what? It doesn't need to, because that's all you need is just a mild backlight. Now most people get blue, and I should have got red, but I'm happy with the green. Works pretty good, so hopefully this video was helpful to you, and some of my next videos are going to involve this guy. I've already started to build, say E-Max, or I can't remember what the other brand, Nighthawk 250 frame. Not a bad frame, so I'm going to get into some mini quad stuff. So until then, take care and talk to you later.